built on today's morning gain. What are the market cycle both time wise and price wise indicating? Sandeep Tandon joins us. He's got this proprietary analysis where he likes to come and talk about markets and turning points. And you've guessed it right. If Sandeep Tandon is coming after a big sell-off, he's making a case that markets are due for a bounce. So Sandeep, tell us the good news. Why do you feel that markets are due for a bounce?
See, couple of things. First of all, the Quant Fear Index is actually the second highest level after the uh, 2020 sell-off. Okay, so it is spike up to that extent. So it's a clear indication that extraordinary fear has been built. And if I have to look at the even the global volatility cycle, particularly on the VIX side, also that is also in the verge of peaking out, with from a near-term perspective. Okay, because we always have maintained from 2018 till 2023, global markets will remain very, very volatile. So we call it volatility expansion phase. But again, in any phase, the moves will not be linear. So we have seen the up move which started somewhere in the month of October onwards in the VIX. It's actually about to peak out. So that's the way we look at, that you will get a temporary rebound from the market from the current level. Extraordinary sell-off we have seen, which is reflected in extraordinary short position. In some of the stock, we are seeing a capitulative move also. The good amount of capitulation is happening, which clearly indication that near-term up move is there.
Could be the duration and what could be the extent of this up move? Are we likely to reclaim previous highs?
So let me put this way, like last time also explained, globally, if I look at the money flow analysis, liquidity and other data points, yes, from the easy phase of bull run is over globally because global risk appetite has started drifting down, global liquidity has peaked out, global money flow towards equity has also touched multi-decades high in the September 2020-21, and since then it's drifting down. Or if I have to conclude, the easy phase is over. But we are still in bull run. Answer is yes. Okay. Like last time also I explained on your channel that the worst case scenario, I expect 16,200 or 16,300 should be, because 12-13% correction is generally healthy when we are in a bull run. I think we came very closer to those numbers. If ideally it could have come to 16,200 odd level, then it would have been a perfect run. But that has not happened. So if you look at from a mathematical perspective, the downside is very, very limited and upside is open. Okay. So from India point of view, I have to say that yes, easy phase is over, but we are still in bull run. Okay. I expect the new highs in the market somewhere in 2022 itself. It's not, we are not talking about many months of consolidation happening. Okay. It can happen in next year itself. So I'm very confident based on our data point, which we look at, because we have not seen any classic signs of euphoria, what we have seen in 2008, or what we have seen in Harshad phase, or what we have seen in 2000, or what we have seen in 2004 or 6. Only we have seen euphoria in certain pockets, particularly on the small cap side, but the broader market euphoria we have not witnessed. And market never ever peaks out unless you see a broader market, which is yet to be unfolded in India. That's the reason we remain confident from the India point of view that easy phase is over. We are still in bull run.
So, what should our viewers do watching the show? You believe that it's time to go long. So, is there a long trade for budget? Because that is going to be an important event. So, let's say from here till 1st of Feb, what should be the best trade? Buy beaten down sectors, metals, IT?
So I will say, since we all have been talking about inflation and rising interest rate, I have been vocal from 2019 that 2021 interest rate will move up. So we have to build a portfolio keeping this background that it should be at least countering the real impact of inflation. So the sectors like telecom sector or infra space or direct commodities play, or maybe power and utilities company, some of the value themes which we talk about. Okay, so I think there are good opportunity, and closer to budget, we have historically seen the infra-related activity has picked up. And when we're talking about that monetary stimulus has actually failed globally. Okay, and the second round of stimulus globally, which has started, is about fiscal stimulus. Okay, which is obviously A, one inflationary, and B, the focus comes back on the infra. So we remain very constructive on the infra space, despite metals have also corrected, but I remain constructive on the metal space also. Okay, this opportunity, maybe from a budget point of, which is more of a sentiments point of view, it makes sense to be a long on the infra stories.
Good morning, Sandeep Tandon. Then, if you're going to go long on infrastructure and bet big on it, what about banks? We've been talking about when are we going to see the recovery in the banks. Right now, you're seeing the bank nifty down 20% from an all-time high.
So, if you recollect, because given the weightage in the of banking and financial, most of the institutions were significantly overbought on banking. Okay, I think we are in that phase where the good amount of correction we have already seen in these names, and we have yet to reach a classic stage of under ownership. I don't think we'll be ever reach, because given the weightage which is there in the index, but people have started pruning down their exposure and increasing their exposure towards the technology space. So I think if I have to look at even from the behavioral data points, so with the quant fear index or the capitulation index, okay, in fact, the quant fear index for banking is even higher than the Nifty. Similarly, the capitulative move which we are seeing, it's more precise in the banking name. So, which clearly means that banking has a potential to outperform the current levels, okay, as compared to the Nifty component. So, the banking component has potential to outperform from a longer term perspective, and even from a infra as a theme or India as a capex cycle coming back. I think banks are a natural beneficiary of that, given the over ownership which we have seen in some of these names, and we have seen good amount of sell-off happening from the global perspective, and most of the FIs are large holder of these names. So we have seen the impact. But I think maybe closer to year end, that is also settling down. So I think banks are due for a good up move from the current levels.
So last time you were here, you were also liking media stocks. I think that was about 3 weeks ago. Do you still hold on to that? Because we had seen media stocks run up since then.
So I tell you, the way we look at, we try to quantify from a behavior perspective, the stocks which are in the most admired category and the stocks which are in the neglected category. So media as a theme was getting part of the neglected territory. Okay? And we have always seen whenever, for whatever reasons, when you get into neglected territory and then you see a inflection points in these names, what I call as the most hated zone. It has reached, the media stock has reached the most hated zone. And we have seen good amount of up moves since then. Obviously, in last 2 days or few days, they have also corrected. I think we remain very constructive in the space because it's a grossly under-owned space, great value from the current level, and good potential from a medium-term perspective.
Right. Sandeep, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show. Aisha as well joining in. Sandeep, you were raising a very interesting point to one of Nikunj's questions earlier, that bull markets don't peak till you see the euphoria in the small and mid caps, which hasn't quite happened yet. So where within small and mid caps would you buy or have comfort to buy, or you think there is enough value on the table for those stocks to jump up higher from the current levels?
See, the way we look at, since we talked about broader as a theme, okay, we are in the volatile phase, okay, globally, okay, and if we believe that globally now growth stocks have peaked out and value stocks has bottomed out, so India also is a part of, or emerging market in general is a part of a value basket, and then within India, value themes is the area which we will look at, and most of the value will be you will finding in the mid and small space. Okay, it's not like in the large cap you don't get a value stock. There are many opportunities in even in the large cap area also. But from a medium to longer term perspective, if we believe the value is the thesis which we strongly believe is going to play out, then mid and small stocks will also outperform. Okay, from the current level as a good opportunity. But that easy phase, which I talked about when people started buying in every week, every month, you are seeing on daily M2M, weekly M2M, or monthly M2M, that phase is over. So I think all junk which was performing well in this phase, that phase has peaked out. As a good quality name in mid and small should do very well, and we remain very constructive in this space from a medium to longer term perspective.
The other theme, of course, is IT too, Sandeep. And clearly, in the recent fall, one has seen that IT has been the last pin to really fall in that sense. Would you say that IT would remain resilient because of A, the rupee weakness, and a whole host of other tailwinds as well added to that pack?
So the way I will look at the IT, there are two worries. Okay, let me put the worry part first. Okay, the worry is that IT is also part of the growth framework and growth stocks are peaking out globally. That is my global worry. Okay. Second worry is there that dollar index or the rupee movement, which were the sentiment booster from them, they are, I think, the verge of reversal. We are also in the process of analyzing and try to gauge more. Maybe on the beginning of the next year, we'll try to understand how the dollar index and some of the global currencies will behave. So that is also some amount of, I'll say, they have also reached an inflection point where we expect some amount of correction can happen. And if I have to look at in isolation, Indian IT stocks, okay, obviously they still looks good. They have been a better outperformer. So in isolation, IT looks good to me, but on a relative basis, it's not that attractive. So it's a very big dilemma for us also.
संदीप, हमारे साथ हमारे ईटीन और स्वदेश के व्यूवर भी जुड़ रहे हैं, तो मैं अब थोड़ा हिंदी में भी बात आपसे करूंगा। और संदीप, एक तो आप बात बोल रहे हैं कि इस समय रिस्क रिवॉर्ड रेशियो इज़ इन द फेवर ऑफ गोइंग लॉन्ग और बुल मार्केट अभी इंटैक्ट है। मगर संदीप, अगर एक बैंक जो एक बड़ा सेक्टर है, 30% फाइनेंशियल्स में वेटेज है, और बैंक्स नहीं, एएमसी के स्टॉक्स नीचे हैं, इंश्योरेंस के स्टॉक्स नीचे हैं, तो जब एक बड़ा सेक्टर का धुआं निकल जाता है तो मार्केट रफ्तार कैसे पकड़ेगा? आईटी महंगा है, बाकी जो सेक्टर्स हैं उनमें इतना वेटेज नहीं है, और रिलायंस भी अटक रहा है, तो मार्केट ऊपर क्यों जाएगा?
आपकी बात बराबर है कि इतना बड़ा वेटेज का अगर विजिबिलिटी नहीं दिखती, बट वो क्या होता है निकुंज, जब एग्जैक्टली बॉटम बन रहा होता है तो ये फियर अपने दिमाग में जरूर होता है। ओके, एंड अगर फियर इंडेक्स, हम जैसे बात कर रहे थे कि बैंकिंग का फियर इंडेक्स स्पाइक कर रहा है, और वो जो एफआईएस का सेलिंग है, जो ईयर एंड पे प्रेशर हो रहा है, उनके बोनसेस वगैरह डिक्लेयर होते हैं, तो किसी का नवंबर एंड होता है, किसी का दिसंबर मंथ एंड होता है, और लास्ट 2 साल में एफआईएस ने, हर मार्केट ने काफी अच्छा पैसा बनाया है। ओके, तो नेचुरल है, इवन 10% नीचे भी बेचेंगे तो भी दे आर मेकिंग गुड मनी। तो उनका कंपल्शंस हो जाता है, उनके अपने इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक कंपल्शंस हैं टू बुक प्रॉफिट। तो वो एक फेस है, हमको उस फेस को समझना है कि जहां एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, कि अगर एक बिहेवियर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू देंगे, क्या हम लोगों का एक यूफोरिक फेज देखा हमने 2018 में? आंसर इज यस। ओके, बैंकिंग में। फिर एक अभी हम कैपिचुलेटिव फेज पे आ रहे हैं। ओके, कि जब थॉट प्रोसेस भी, जैसे हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं इतना बड़ा वेटेज हो, तो अभी लोगों का थॉट प्रोसेस भी कैपिचुलेट होना स्टार्ट हो गया है। ओके, और दूसरी तरह अगर हम बात करते हैं कि इंडिया का मैक्रो इंप्रूवमेंट है, इंडिया के कैपेक्स साइकिल में इंप्रूवमेंट है, तो बिना बैंक्स के तो ये साइकिल प्ले आउट होने वाली नहीं है। ओके, हम लोग कितना भी डिजिटल बात करें, बट अल्टीमेटली वो डीएससी जैसा रोल होगा उनका। बैंक्स तो हमको लगने वाले हैं ना, बैंक्स का रोल तो रहने वाला है। ओके, ठीक है, एक फेज था जहां ओवर ओनरशिप हुई, वो प्ले आउट हुई, और सिमिलरली वही फेज था जो इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर में हुआ कि एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी अंडर ओनरशिप की स्पेस के अंदर लास्ट 2 साल के अंदर ग्रॉसली ओवर ओनरशिप हो गई। तो हम लोग अपने एनालिसिस में ये अंडर ओनरशिप और ओवर ओनरशिप को काफी एम्फेसिस देते हैं। हमारे हिसाब से ऐसा एक फेज आ रहा है कि ये भी, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि निग्लेक्टेड टेरिटरी में पहुंच रहे हैं, बट एक निग्लेक्ट फेज इनका स्टार्ट हो चुका है। ओके, जहां बिहेवियरली लोगों को डिस्टर्बेंस है कि ये सेक्टर लेना नहीं है, इसने बड़ा अंडर परफॉर्मेंस किया है, तो इसमें पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करेंगे, या इस सेक्टर से हम स्विच करेंगे। तो वो जब वो फेस आता है ना, तो वो उस फेस में एक टर्न अराउंड होता है, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं कंसोलिडेशन जैसा फेस होगा। तो वो फेस में हम लोग ऑलरेडी एंटर कर चुके हैं। तो मेरे को यहाँ से बैंकिंग नेम्स में, जो क्वालिटी बैंकिंग नेम्स है इंडिया के, उसमें बहुत ज्यादा कोलैप्स हो जाए ऐसा नहीं लगता है। कंसोलिडेशन हो सकता है, आंसर इज यस कि हाँ होगा। टाइम वाइज करेक्शन हमने देखा, प्राइस वाइज करेक्शन हमने देखा है, मे बी शायद टाइम वाइज करेक्शन हम लोग और देखने को मिलेगा। लेकिन ये लेवल से जब फियर इतना ज्यादा है, तभी हमको अपॉर्चुनिटी भी मिलती है ना पैसा बनाने की।
संदीप, I'll request you to stay with us while we'll take a break, और मैं इस ब्रेक के बाद आपसे ईटीन और स्वदेश में हम हमारी चर्चा जारी रखेंगे। मगर अभी छोटा सा ब्रेक लेते हैं, टाइम फॉर अ ब्रेक, एंड देन वील कंटिन्यू आवर चैट विद संदीप।